First, I said fasting is a means of causing. Fasting is not getting God to do your will. Fasting is getting God to do his will in your life. So when we are praying and fasting, we are not trying to force God to do for us what we want him to do. Abantu basinga, that's how they fast. You say, God, you will give me this. Even if you don't want, you will give it to me. Now, the will of God is actually the boundary of God's blessing for your life. 1 John chapter 5 and verses 14 says, this is the confidence we have in God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. So the confidence we have is that God hears us when we pray his will. Ephesians chapter 5 and verses 17. He says, do not be fools, but know what the will of God is. So to pray outside the will of God is to pray in a region of foolishness. You have got, but to accept the will of God is not easy. The flesh resists the will of God. But real blessings, tangible blessings, are when you begin to say, let it be to me according to your will. Personally, I can tell you, I would rather fail in the will of God than succeed outside God's will. Because even that which looks like failure, if it is the will of God, it will end with a blessing. Because how men measure success is not how it is measured in the spirit. Success in the spirit is doing what God has told you to do. When Noah obeyed God to make the ark, when he made the ark, it was dry land and people began laughing. They said, look at this man. He was telling them, there's going to be a lot of rain and there will be floods. People are going to die. They laughed at him. It passed 100 years, it looked like a failure. But at the end of it, people died, and him and the animals were safeguarded. You are only safe when you are in the will of God. Outside the will of God, there is calamity.